Hey guys, welcome to another episode on Medically Speaking. So, on today's episode, we are going to be addressing some of the questions I've gotten over time since Medically Speaking started. I've been getting some questions from fellow medical students which I feel the need to address today. So, getting right on it, the first question is, what is the hardest part about being a medical student? Well, the thing is that medical school experience can be very subjective. Different people have different experiences as to how hard it is or how easy it is for them. But here is what I have to say: the constant physical and mental demand, the volume of information you have to learn or you have to know can be really, really overwhelming. Secondly, I think consistency, having to show up every now and then, trying to balance med school with personal life, your social life, it can be crazy. And believe it or not, sacrifices has to be made, whether your social life, school, or whatever, but you must have to sacrifice one for the other. So yeah. Secondly, someone asked, how do you balance studying with personal life and medically speaking? How do I balance studying, personal life, and medically speaking? Well, the thing is, before medically speaking, I was already a medical student. Yeah, so I think it's more about prioritization. If I wasn't a medical student, I would not have been doing medically speaking. Yeah, so medically speaking is actually quite secondary. Also, my podcast is medically focused, so I don't really stress to do videos. I just go at my pace. I do videos based off of what I've learned or what I know, so it's not really a hassle to come up with videos. It doesn't really bother me because it's not affecting my studies. Yeah, so the thing is prioritization. I'm a student, and that is what I'm more on and about. Thirdly, someone asked, how do doctors and medical students deal with traumatic cases? Well, just like I said earlier, I think it's quite subjective, yeah, but I think dealing with traumatic cases can be resolved by emotional detachment. Yes, as a doctor or as a medical student, traumatic cases are things you would always come across. You would always see them in hospitals, you'd always see them everywhere. It's a part of you. So yeah, emotional detachment is quite paramount. You have to learn to think professionally and not emotionally. Just think about the times you, as a medical student, if you're a medical student now, think about the times you first had to deal with a cadaver. After that whole first hand experience, going forward, you're getting used to it. And because if you don't get used to it, how are you going to write your exams and how are you going to pass? So yeah, emotional detachment. Fourthly rather, someone said, what is one thing you wish you knew before starting medical school? Okay, one thing I wish I knew before starting medical school, I would say balance. Yeah, I wish I already knew how to balance my life and medical school before entering. I wish I already knew how to balance my life before getting into med school, because once you're in medical school, you always want to know everything. You want to get all the information. You want to know basically everything, attend all the classes, which are quite important, but you should also try to create a little time, a few hours, to sit back, relax, and then yeah, just put your life together and all of that. And also, one thing I also wish I knew before getting in is knowing that feeling of being overwhelmed with the course is actually a valid thing, to be honest, because man, it's not easy. This minute you're up and about, the next minute you're thinking about your life, your feelings and emotions are all over the place, you're overwhelmed with all you have to do. It's actually very valid because it never stops. You would always be in your feelings, you would always be overwhelmed because the workload, it gets worse as you go actually. So yeah, it's okay to sometimes sit back and just think about your life. Then after that moment, you get back and then just do your thing, go about your business, focus on your studies, read. Yeah, basically being overwhelmed with everything going on as a medical student is actually valid. Then the last question for this episode is, how does studying medicine compare to studying pharmacy in terms of workload and challenges? Well, the thing is, both courses are quite professional courses. They are both demanding in terms of workload and precision. So the last question says, how does studying pharmacy compare to studying medicine in terms of workload and challenges? Please help me choose. Well, because you said I should help you choose, I don't think it's actually wise for me to choose for you, because these are actually two different courses, two different good courses. Actually, they are both professional courses and they are both hard. Yeah, so it's a decision you have to make based off of your own personality, how you see the two courses in separately. And also, but I will just give you like a little tip on how, probably if it helps actually. Firstly, if you're the kind of person that loves medication safety, you just love the whole drug science and everything, probably you should go into pharmacy. Yes, but if you resonate with diagnostics, you like prescriptions and just patient wellness, and you see yourself being so open to listening to people when they are sick and all of those things, maybe you should go into medicine. Yeah, but this is something you need to sit down and think through. Yeah, anyone that resonates with you, you go for it. So we've come to the end of today's episode. Best believe we're going to be answering some other questions on our next episode. Please like, share, comment, follow our platforms at Medically Speaking.